Okay, big thing today is just making sure that you know your vocab terms, that whatever picture I provide you today for your homework, you know exactly how to find, said angle for that picture. My goal here is to do 2 problems. That's it. I want to do 2. I'm going to leave them up here, and we're going to kind of go through, and I'm going to ask for, certain rows or columns here to provide me certain answers. So at some point you will be put on the spot to figure out your angles. So do the best you can to pay attention right away. We're going to do two examples, see how you do. So I'm going to kind of go around the room and I'll ask for, like front row or second row or third row or something like that. That way there's at least one person in each row that can answer. So you're not necessarily always put on the spot, but I'll kind of switch it up a little bit. All right, so here's the thing. So there's going to be 2 types of problems you're going to see in your notes today. A problem that looks like this, where the parallel lines are going vertical to you. So they're going up and down. So these are the parallel lines. They could have them marked with a cursive letter. So maybe that's line A and B, and those are parallel. In the instructions, they would usually tell you this in your textbook. So on a test, you'll probably see that it'll say line A and B are parallel. Line M is a transversal. So the reason why that's important to know is because when we get into the properties, probably starting either tomorrow or Thursday, probably tomorrow, we're gonna have to know that the lines are parallel for the properties to work. So the properties we're gonna necessarily see in the next couple days have to be from parallel lines. So keep that in mind. Now, the goal today is I'm going to provide you pictures. So I'll provide you, I think there's 3 different pictures you're going to see in your homework today. And they'll have numbers and or letters. So on this particular problem, I'm going to provide numbers. Let's go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Green is terrible. Let's get rid of that one. Okay. So again, when you look up here, you have all of your numbers set. They're going to be kind of random order, so you can kind of see them. Now, this is where the questions will start. I think there's 15 questions in the homework that you're going to have today, and it'll be short and quick. All you have to do is list off angles that meet the question, and it's only asking for 1 pair. I know there could be, like on this picture, if it asks for a certain type of angle, you could have multiple different answers. You only have to list 1 pair. So 2 angles that meet the certain stipulation. Now let's talk about the stipulations here. What are the different angles they could ask for? Okay, so let's talk about that. So the different angles that are in question that they could ask. They could ask for alternate angles. So it could be alternate interior or exterior. So for alternate, one has to be in one side of the transversal, one has to be on the other side of the transversal. They cannot be adjacent. They cannot be physically touching each other. Okay? So like what I mean by not physically touching, I can't pick 6 and 2. I know they're on the opposite sides of the transversal, right? This line is the transversal, M is. So 6 and 2 are adjacent to each other, so those wouldn't count as alternates. They have to be physically separated a little bit. But there could be interior and exterior, so keep that in mind. The other type, they could ask for same side angles. Same side. So it could be same side interior, same side exterior. So same side is where where your transversal is. So you have to identify that first. So M is my transversal. I'm only picking angles either on the bottom or just the top, and they'll tell you what type they want, interior or exterior. We'll do that example here in a second, so you can see that. And then the third type they're going to ask for is corresponding. Corresponding angles. That's where you have to pick one inside, one outside. They have to be on the same side of the transversal, and they cannot be adjacent. So it's kind of a mixed bag of both of these kind of combined into one. So it's got pieces of both. So, okay, these are the types of questions you're going to have. So each picture, I don't know, expect 5 questions from each picture roughly, kind of a thing. There could be 5, there could be 4 questions on a picture. Just be kind of expecting that. I think there's 15 questions total. I'll have to look back. And they're just kind of random, so I think there's only 3 pictures I picked from, but the questions are pretty random. They don't go in order or anything like that. So, okay, so let's discuss. Let's go through this first one. So let's say we want alternate interior. So let's do that first. So, all right, so alternate interior. alternate interior now. So if I'm going to say alternate interior, you have to pick angles that are on the inside only, interior of these lines. So before we start, let's identify up here which angles are interior. Okay, which ones are the interior?
6, 2, 3, and 7.
Boom. Okay, how do you know? You're right. Why?
Because they're sandwiched in between the two parallel lines.
Yeah, the best way you could have put it, right? These are the interior. Because he's absolutely right. You find wherever the parallel lines are, and the interior are the ones that are squeezed in between it. So think of like a sandwich here. Here's a piece of bread. The things on the inside of the sandwich, that's interior. So now that you know where to identify the interior, it's these 4. Now I have to pick the alternate ones. So I just need one pair, 2 angles. One has to be on one side of the transversal, one on the other, and they cannot be physically touching. Okay? So what pair do you got?
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Perfect example. Angle 6 and angle 7. Now, in your homework, all you have to do is type 6, 7. That's all you have to do. Make sense? Or put 6 and 7. I don't care how you type it. Just you have to give me 2 numbers. You don't even have to use the angle symbol because I know your keyboard doesn't have it. That's all I want. Just one pair that meets that criteria. So for alternates, now this was interior, right? So they have to be on the inside, obviously, because it says interior, but they cannot be physically touching one on one side of the transversal, one on the other. So that's great. Can somebody else, thank you, can somebody else give me the other pair of alternate interior? Please.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay, because 2 and 3, those are the other alternate interiors. They're interior, they're alternating sides. So that'd be the other pair you could have listed. So don't feel like there's always one answer. There could be a couple different answers on every problem. So you only have to provide one. So don't feel like it's only that set, 6 and 7. It could have been 2 and 3. Okay, thank you for those 2 volunteers. So you guys are done for a little bit. So now I'm going to ask for different volunteers on the next one. So now the next one, let's do alternate exterior. So let's get rid of those. So alternate exterior now. So now, obviously we talked about interior was the sandwich in here. So the exterior would be these angles. These are the ones on the outside of the parallel lines, right? Because this is the inside of them squeezing together. These are the outside, so those are exterior. Can somebody, other than my 2 that just volunteered, give me an alternate exterior? Just give me one.
1 and 4.
1 and 4, perfect example. Angle 1 and angle 4. Because that's on one side of the transversal, that's on the other. Other pair?
5 and 1? No, 5 and 8.
5 and 8. There's your other pair. Because they're on opposite sides of the transversal, they're not physically next to each other. So 5 and 8 would be the other pair. So I don't care which ones you listed. Okay. Makes sense? I don't care if you put a little and symbol between them, if you want to just put a plus sign, I don't care. Just put 1, 4, put a space between them, I don't care. As long as you list a pair, I just need one pair. Okay. Questions with alternates? Okay, all right, let's go same side. So thank you for the 2 volunteers. So you guys are done for a little bit. So let's go to the next ones now. So let's go to same side. Okay, so let's go same side exterior now. So same side exterior. So obviously we're picking exterior angles on this one. So you should know those. So those are your 1, 8, 5, and 4, right? These are the exteriors. But we're picking the same side of the transversal now. Same side of transversal. So give me one pair.
1 and 5.
1 and 5. 1 and 5. Okay? This will give me another pair.
8 and 4.
8 and 4. There's your other pair. They're on the same side of the transversal. So either top and bottom on this particular picture. Okay. Okay, thank you for those 2 volunteers. You guys are done. Okay, so good volunteering. So that's the type of questions I'm going to provide you. I'll provide you a picture. I'll have random numbers or letters in there. The next example I'll do, I'll put letters, A, B, C, D's, whatnot. And then they're going to ask for a series of questions, and it'll be one question at a time. They'll be kind of random. So the pictures I might actually kind of alternate, but there's only 3 pictures I picked from. So from the homework. All right. Okay, all right, so thank you for those volunteers. You guys are done currently. And let's go to the next one. Let's go corresponding now. So for those who are left to answer still, corresponding. Now we're into the tough category. Okay, for corresponding, let's talk about the definition. I said it was a mixed bag of alternate and same side. So it's got little pieces of each. Okay, for corresponding, you have to pick one inside angle, so one interior angle, and one exterior angle. Okay, so you have to pick one of each, one interior, one exterior. They have to be on the same side of the transversal, so that's where it gets the same side idea. They have to be on the same side of the transversal, so either the top or bottom. So one inside, one outside, same side of the transversal. And the last classification, the last category, they cannot be physically next to each other, so they cannot be adjacent to each other. So you can't pick like 7 and 4. That doesn't work. I know one's inside, one's outside, but they're physically next to each other. So I need a different pair. So for those select few that are left, can we get at least one group that works here? So, what do you think?
6 and 5.
Say it again?
6 and 5.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, that would be a good pair. 6 and 5. 6 and 5. One's inside, one's outside. Boom, boom, check, check. They're on the same side of the transversal, check, and they're not physically next to each other. Perfect. Okay, that was good. Can somebody else, so for my 3 or 4 that are left, can somebody give me another pair? Please.
8 and 7.
8 and 7, I like that one. 8 and 7. Okay, because one's inside, one's outside. They're physically not next to each other. They're on the one side of the transversal. Check, check, check. Okay. Another pair, please.
2 and 4.
2 and 4. There's a good pair. Yeah. 2 and 4. Boom, boom. 2 and 4. You guys are good at this. Okay. Okay. Makes sense so far. All right. All right. Let's go to the next picture now. Okay, next picture. So you guys exhausted this picture. We've used it a lot. Okay. I would expect a problem pretty close to that. Really looks like it. Now let's go to another picture. This one, let's put the parallel lines going kind of diagonal now. Let's go with A, B, C, D, E, and F. And, okay, there we go. Let's put these lines. Let's say that's line M and L, and this is line T. So, M is parallel to L, and T is the transversal. It's kind of nice to know which ones are the parallel lines, so you can kind of figure out where the interior or exterior is. So. Okay, so that's my new picture. It's my last example today. Last example, then I'll turn you loose in your homework, and you'll have plenty of time to work on it today. Homework will be due tomorrow, so it's a short turnaround. You'll just need your Chromebook. You'll do everything on your Chromebook. You'll submit it to me on a Google form, because that's pretty easy. Just type in the numbers. So. Okay. All right, we understand what we're doing here? Okay. All right, same thing. New picture, new letters, all that good stuff. Okay. Corresponding. Let's start there. So I'm going to go with. Let's go with this row here. So anyone in the row, I need corresponding. Let's start there. There's the spell sponding, right? So anyone in row 1 here? What do you got?
D and C.
D and C. Okay, I agree with that. D and C. One's inside, one's outside. Because again, the interior are these 4. These are inside. And then one outside. They're not physically next to each other. They're on one side of the transversal. Good. I agree with that. Okay. All right. So next, let's go with this row here. Let's go with, so these 2, I should say. These 2 rows. I'll mix you guys together so it's not just singling you out. So let's go with same side interior. So anyone in these 2 rows here. Same side interior for that.
BF.
B and F, okay, agree with that. B and F. That's good. They're on the same side of the transversal. They're both inside, so fit, check, check. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, we'll go to the next 2 rows here. So the next 2 rows, let's go with alternate. Let's go alternate interior. Alternate interior. Okay, please.
CF.
CF, okay, good. I agree with that. C and F. One's on the one side of the transversal, one's on the other. They're not physically next to each other. Check, check. Okay. And last category, so last row over there, last row, same side exterior. Same side, oh, maybe I should spell same right, not same. Same side exterior, say it again.
A and D.
And D. On that one, you kind of only have one.
I was wondering that.
Yeah, you only have one option for that one, so like you kind of had to know that one. There wasn't an option on the other side, the blank and blank. Right? You can't have that. So, okay. Is there any specific category that we're struggling with, that we're not sure of? This is what your homework is. That's it. Like that's what it's going to look like. They're going to ask for either numbers, just give me 2, or 2 letters that fits. I know there could be more than one correct answer, so just be aware of that. I think the homework already went live, so if you go in your Google Classroom today, you should be able to see the form went live. It will be due tomorrow. You can edit it, so if you start it today, you can always go back and edit it later and whatnot. I think it should be live. Somebody tell me. I think it's called Worksheet 3.1. It should show up on the Google Classroom. It might even just be emailed to you as a form. Make sure that when you log in, you log in with the school account email when you're going to actually fill it out and whatnot. So, but yeah, there you go. So, all right, and that's it for today. Pretty easy.